Welcome back, Wolfpack Scholars. Thank you all for being so attentive today during your time with a substitute. I really appreciate it. I ask that you do your very best during this lesson. It's not hard at all. It's very similar to what we learned last class, and I think you guys will do fine on it. So we're continuing to use proportional relationships, and the essential question is, how can you determine if two figures are similar? And you're going to be able to use proportions to solve problems in similar figures. So let's get started right away. Blank measurement involves using the properties of similar triangles to measure heights, lengths, or distances that are too great to be measured directly. So that word there is indirect. If I'm wanting to measure something that is too tall, too far away, too wide, I can use indirect measurement to help me solve those proportions. And obviously, I have to be able to know some things about the height or the width, and we'll see that in action. Okay. So, example number 1 says, find the indicated dimension using the measurements shown in the figure and the properties of similar triangles. So, I can see in my picture right here that I have two triangles, and it's saying that they're similar. I need to find the height of the palm tree, and the triangle made with the palm tree is similar to the triangle made by the post and everything. So triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. Let's just say it that way. So I am looking for AB. And I'm going to set up a proportion just like I have been. 1 over 1.6 is equal to, I don't know, so I'm going to use the letter X, or you could have used AB or whatever variable, 7.2. And you're going to cross multiply and divide just like we did last class. So cross multiply, 1.6x equals 7.2. Cross multiply that way and divide both sides by 1.6. 1.6 x equals 4.5. And the units were in meters. So the height of the palm tree is 4.5 meters. Easy as that. Okay, so nothing to it, honestly. You guys can get this. Example 2. A hiker wants to find the distance D across a canyon. So it specifically told us we're looking for this. Use the similar triangles to find the length across the canyon. Okay, so obviously, they're trying to figure out the length across the canyon. The canyon is like a deep valley, okay? So they're not just able to easily measure it, but they created a similar triangle to help them. So I'm going to use a proportion, 327 over 600 equals D, so top over 400. And there are multiple ways you can set up the proportion, as long as however you do the first fraction, the second fraction needs to follow the same pattern. You're going to cross multiply 600D equals 400 times 327, which is 130,800. Divide both sides by 600, so divide 130,800 by 600, 600D by 600, and D equals 218 feet. And there we go. Example number 3. A student wanted to find the height H of a statue of a pineapple in Australia. She measured the pineapple's shadow and her own shadow. The student's height is 5 feet. What is the height of the pineapple? Now I'm going to help set up the ratio, but I'd really like to see you do this on your own. Okay, try to do the math on your own. So the first thing I would suggest is turning the units into inches. And the reason is because we have inches right here. Okay, and this is 8 feet 10 inches. And since it's in inches, and it's not like 6 inches, which is half a foot. It's going to be a little bit easier to put it into inches. So there are 12 inches in a foot, so 8 times 12 is 96. I'm going to add 10 inches, 106 inches. So I'm going to use 106 inches as that. Right? Her shadow is 2 feet tall, so 24. Sorry, I just wanted the answer. I should have said 2 times 12 is 24. So her shadow is 24 inches tall. Okay? She is 5 feet tall. Well, 5 times 12 is 60. And so now we will find the pineapple height, and it'll be in inches. Okay? So there's other ways you can do this. You could turn it into a decimal. You could leave it the way it is, but it's a little bit harder. I would hope that you guys can all remember there are 12 inches in a foot and be able to convert this to inches. So set up a ratio. She is 60 inches tall. Over her shadow, that is 24 inches. I'm actually just going to write that a little nicer. The pineapple, we don't know. It's 8 inches tall over 106 inches of a shadow. And now we have a regular proportion, and we can solve for it just like we have it. So 24H equals 6360. Divide both sides by 24, and we have H equals 265 inches. 265 inches. And if you want to do all the math and figure out what that is in feet and so on, it was 22 feet and 1 inch. Okay? So that's that. Again, hopefully you are comfortable with 12 feet are in a foot. 12 inches are in a foot. And that was not a hard problem for you. Proportions, cross multiplying and dividing. We are on the try it, your back of your notes. To find the height of a dinosaur, or to find the height H of a dinosaur in a museum, Amir placed a mirror on the ground 40 feet from its base. Then he stepped back 4 feet so that he could see the top of the dinosaur in the mirror. Amir's eyes were approximately 5 feet 6 inches above the ground. What is the height of the dinosaur? Again, I'm just going to use similar triangles. With these kinds of problems, you are using similar triangles and you are using proportions to solve problems. Now this particular one, 5 feet 6 inches, you don't necessarily have to turn into inches, because I know 6 inches is half of a foot, okay? Because there are 12 inches in a foot. 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. So if you want to make this as 5.5, that's okay. And then we can leave all the other ones in feet as well. So 5.5 feet tall over 4 feet away from the mirror equals H. We don't know how many feet tall, but the dinosaur is 40 feet from the mirror. We're just using all of these numbers that they provided to us right there in the problem, setting it up and solving. Okay, take a second, pause this video, and try to solve it on your own. Okay, I really hope you try to do that on your own. It only benefits you in the long run. So cross multiply. 4H equals 220. Divide both sides by 4. H is 55. Okay, so 55 feet, 55 feet. And that's how tall the dinosaur is. I know, some of you are going to say, but Mrs. Locke, I saw that this is 4 feet, and this is 40 feet, and 10 times 4 is 40, so 10 times 5.5 is 55. For all of you that saw that, great, that's totally fine. Wonderful, you're a mathematic whiz. But the numbers will not always be that easy, and so sometimes we actually need to work the problems out the long way. Let's go on to our next problem. Example 4. To find the distance xy across a lake, you locate points as shown in the figure. Find the length of xy. So we're going to find this little guy right here, xy. So I'm going to do xy over 500, okay, equals, I'm going to use this side, 800 and 400. 800 over 400. Again, same thing, cross multiply and divide. 400xy equals 5 times 8 is 40, and then we add all the zeros, 400,000. Divide both sides by 400, xy equals 1,000. Okay, here we go. Again, a lot of you are going to say, Miss Vlog, duh, we saw that. 300 times 2 is 600, 400 times 2 is 800, so 500 times 2 is 1,000. Again, wonderful. If you saw that and you recognize that, I love it. I'm proud of you. Just know that the numbers will not always be that easy, so we need to be able to go through the process of finding this. Last problem. I'd love for you to pause the video and try it on your own before I go through it. Any of these problems would be great for you to do on your own. We're going to find the length of SQ. Okay? So we know that we have this triangle that I've outlined in blue, and then we have this triangle that I'm kind of going over in red. And we have, with the larger triangle, I see that the one leg is 25, and the other leg is 8 plus 12, which is 20. Okay? So I'm going to do 25 over 20 equals SQ, which is the piece I'm looking for, a little happy face there, over 12. This is not like the problem we did last class where the one triangle is being divided proportionately. We do not know that this line, that SQ, is parallel to TP, and so we can't do 12 over 8. We had to know that PR is 20. We had to add these two numbers together. Okay, so we're comparing the blue triangle to the red triangle. We're comparing the two triangles, not just cutting the red triangle proportionally. Okay, so we cross multiply. 20 SQ equals 300, and then we divide both sides by 20. So SQ divided by 20 is, SQ divided by 20, 300 divided by 20 is 15. So SQ is 15 meters. Okay? And that makes sense because obviously SQ is smaller than TP. So if you were to get a larger answer like 35, well, it wouldn't make sense for SQ to be 35 because it clearly fits inside of the bigger triangle, and the bigger triangle only has a leg of 35. Okay, so that's one way you can help yourself make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, I hope that you guys did your best. It was only 5 problems. Actually, it was 6 problems. My apologies. It was 6 problems on proportions. You guys are rock stars. I know you did great. Please, again, be on your best behavior for the substitute. Go ahead and go on to USA Test Prep. Work hard on the assignments that I have assigned you. They will be going in the grade book, and I'll see you guys next class. Have a great day.